Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Welcome to Transaction Care. Let me just double check on my end. Yes, we are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. So it is the late night shift stream. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, everybody. So let me just make sure everything is good on. Yep, we're good to go. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to everyone here, the night crew, the night shift crew, TC live stream. So I usually go live at night on TikTok, but I'm switching it up this week, testing out YouTube and Twitch. How you like them apples? Okay. So there we go. Let me just make sure everything looks good on YouTube. Yes. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to Bean. Shout out to Twitch. Oh, this is so cool. TikTok. Shout out to Bean. Shout out to Twitch. Okay, cool. Okay. Thank you for your patience. For those that have been in here. And the only thing I haven't quite figured out with this whole setup is the chat. So right now I have Twitch and YouTube open, but I know that might hurt. That might hurt my service. But hold on, let me go back. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. No, that's not the one I want. That's not the one I want. So today's been a long day. I'll tell you that much. So today's a long day. I'll tell you that much. All right, cool. So we're in there like swimwear. Let me pull up the chat. So if anyone is trying to do live streaming or anything of that sort, you definitely want to. I mean, there's easier way to do these things. But I'm still learning. This is my first time using these different platforms and different ways of streaming, cross-platform streaming. So this is very new. I usually just go live directly in YouTube. So the fact that this is working is pretty cool. I haven't figured out the chat part of it yet. Hold on, let me remove this. Delete. Yes, I understand. Delete. But if you are trying to do live streaming or any type of additional content at different levels, with YouTube, you definitely have to have a certain amount of subscribers. And I think that's part of, there we go. That's definitely part of, there we go. Perfect. I was trying to pull up the live. There we go. Now I can close out the one on my phone. So you guys are watching me in real time figure out all this stuff. So because I'm on Twitch and YouTube, I want to make sure the sound is good. I want to make sure the quality is good. My background is good. I'm still working on my background, but right now this is looking really good to me. And yeah, if you are joined here from YouTube or Twitch, let me hear you in the comments. Drop a comment, say hello so I can see that you're actually here. And there we go. There we go. So I went live this morning and essentially I've been up since like 7 o'clock. And right now it's about 9 p.m. So what did I do all day today? It was actually a pretty busy day. I just had to make sure that I stayed on top of things and I stayed on top of my schedule. I didn't get too far off of it because if I do, because when I do, that's when my procrastination hits. That's when I start to delay my own process. That's when I start to get in my head. So I do my best to not add too much to my plate. And I try my best to ultimately just stick to the plan. And I need to get better at, I definitely need to get better at setting my priorities. Like doing this whole Twitch setup, doing this whole restream, like all these different platforms. I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos earlier to try to figure it out. And basically, yeah. Let me close this. Actually, no, let me keep that open. But it was a long day. It was definitely a long day. I'm trying to recap in my head what I did. So as soon as I woke up, I did my morning routine. There was an earthquake. There was an earthquake this morning, and that literally jolted me and woke me up. I was like, okay, no excuses. I got to attack the day. No excuses at all, because right now, this is insane. I can't believe we're having an actual earthquake. And right now, what was I going to do? I was going to open a different app. I needed to open a different app. But we had an earthquake, and then I had to do, it's trash day, and I missed last week, so my trash was just piling up. And I came back, and they never picked up the trash. So annoying, right? But at least it's out of my house. Then after that, I went to an event. I went to this opening of a new rec center here in San Francisco. So I went to that for a little bit, which was really cool because I rarely ever get out of the house. I rarely ever get out of the house, especially in the middle of the day, to actually go socialize. And I was so glad that I did that because, one, there's a new rec center. You know, I can go over there and work out. I can play basketball, which is one of my favorite things to do when I'm not working, is either watch basketball or play basketball. I'm not the best of hoopers, but I definitely just enjoy my time while I'm at the park. It's my solace. So I wish everyone a hobby. Like I wish everyone had their own hobbies that they were aware of and actively pursued them throughout the day, because it really makes a difference in like your mood, your mental health, even just like your physical health, because you're moving around, you're shooting the ball, you're chasing the ball. I like to also record content while I play basketball, which is fun, and that helps me throughout the week to have more energy. It's been a very long time since I played, so the fact that now, you know, I have these courts I can actually go to, you know, hopefully I make the actual effort and actually go and play. The only thing that because there are parks in my neighborhood, but I can't bring stuff. Like that's the hardest part, is like I can't bring any of my like outside stuff. Like I can't bring any of my, like, what would you call it? I can't bring like my personal items, like a bag or anything like that, because basically what happens is it becomes a target, and that's not fun. Because I was at the park one time. Oops. Okay, I feel like I'm getting off topic. Forgive me, guys. Let me get back on track. It's pretty late. I'm getting off topic. Forgive me. Okay, here we go. So, after I went to that event, I went shopping, got some groceries because I really needed them. And from there, I came home and got straight to work. So basically, I inherited a file from another TC because the realtor that she works with, their client, the seller, out of nowhere said, "Is there another TC we can use?" He just didn't want to work with her anymore. And that's something I hadn't really considered when it came to TCing, is like the seller actually like wanting to fire you or use someone else. That was brand new to me. So I got on the phone with her this morning. We talked about it and I said, yeah, I'll do it. I could use the extra cash. So at this point in time, I'm just like, okay, I just have to sacrifice and say yes. And it's not that I can't handle it. It's just the constant, like if this person is going to be type A and very much like, if they're going to be like type A and just very picky about everything, that makes the work really, really difficult because, the work as a TC is already tedious, but when you're dealing with clients that constantly want to know what's going on every step of the way, it becomes really tiresome. And a project that could take someone maybe 5 minutes now would take 30. And that's probably the most frustrating part of it all, is the fact that now I have to compromise. Like now I have to compromise what this is. And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I don't like that at all. And basically, I'm going to go live on TikTok as well. So let me get that set up while I'm on here. TikTok, you don't stop. But I told myself I'm going to definitely go live Thursdays in the morning and at night. Now that I'm doing it at night, in the morning and night, I have to absolutely manage my energy better. And I'm learning that in real time. Because my brain is kind of like, oof, what are we going to talk about? So in the future, I need to definitely better prepare. I'll probably archive this. Here we go. Night shift. There we go. Yeah, I'll probably archive this live stream on my YouTube because, nah, forget it. You guys can see the real me at night. You know, you guys can see how I really am at nighttime. My hair is never this flat. It was messy before I got on live, but yeah, it was a long day. So once I figured out what was going to happen with that realtor and that new client, I said, yeah, I'll do it. Then another transaction got into contract. Thankfully, it's double-ended. So that was motivation to work because now I'm getting possibly paid for 2 transactions. But if you were in my live stream earlier, you know, I like to say, don't count your money before you get it. Even if it feels like the most guaranteed, like the most guaranteed paycheck, like until it hits my bank account, I need to make sure like this is real. Because even then I've had issues where they either overpaid me, underpaid me, delayed payments, or it was for the wrong property. So there's a lot that goes on, and you have to have a lot of patience to endure some of the mishaps that could go on when it comes to working in real estate, or when it comes to working or being self-employed, right? Being self-employed. I know a lot of content creators talk about net 30, net 60, ultimately meaning like they don't get paid until, I guess, like 30 days out, 60 days out, depending on the agreement. It could be 30 days out, 60 days out from when the contract was signed or when the project is done. So imagine, you know, this is the same way I work, is like you may get a listing today and do all this upfront work, but that listing may not close for 6 months, a year. And that is a very risky business to enter in when you have nothing else to fall back on. And I definitely want to work on my messaging when it comes to being a transaction coordinator, because a lot of you are wanting to quit your jobs or get out of a situation, but you don't have a backup plan, or you don't have money in your savings account to support you as you're growing your service-based business, or as you're growing your products. So if you're wanting to become a transaction coordinator, I highly recommend doing that while you have a job. Now, you don't have to go full-time as a TC, but I definitely recommend you going little by little, side hustle, then part-time, then full-time, if you make it that far. Honestly, if you make it that far, because it's not easy being in this industry with no backup plan, because it will challenge you, it will stretch you, it will discourage you. You know, it's nice when you're kept busy and things are flowing, but when you're working on a bunch of listings, it can be very hard to stay motivated, because a lot of those listings don't cash in. If they close, nothing is guaranteed until who knows. And listings typically get signed on for a year, and it could be a journey. So if you know people in real estate right now, I would connect with them as soon as possible and just ask them, like, do you know anyone that needs an assistant? So starting off as an assistant, starting off as like a part-time team member, something to that effect. Sorry guys, on TikTok, I'm messing with the camera. I'm just trying to find better lighting. But yeah, this is for the late night shift crew, for those of us that aren't able to make my live streams during the week. I'm trying a new some bonus times of the week where I go live on Tuesdays at 4:00. That still stands, but on Thursdays, I introduced today a 9 a.m. stream, and then tonight a 9 p.m. stream. So for those that are perhaps at a job during the week when I'm going live and work, are up later in the evenings and need, want to chop it up or talk to me, you'll have access to me this way. If you can, make your way to YouTube. That's the best place to reach me. So go to Transaction Care on YouTube right now. I'm live there, or on Twitch. I'm actually live there as well. So I just connected my Twitch today. So I'm pumped about that, just so I can just continue to cast a wide net to help people that are wanting to work in real estate, because there are so many steps that people don't like, that you don't learn when you take courses, or if you're not working with a coach or a mentor. It could take you so long to figure out things that someone in the industry can tell you in one sitting or in like a few sessions, you know what I mean? Or through a live stream like this one. And I definitely want to be someone that can answer your questions, or, at least help you get in the right direction, because it's tough. It can be tough to take a leap of faith and be in that space where you've envisioned, you dreamed, but then it's not quite going your way. And then you start to panic. You start to think, oh my God, this isn't working. And it's like all those emotions, all those feelings that you had initially, did work on, maybe journaling, therapy, prayer, God. But the moment you're challenged, or the moment you're in the face of defeat, it's like, it just feels like your whole world is crumbling. It just feels like everything is falling apart. And that could be the toughest of it all, is realizing, dang, like, did I mess up? Like, is it me? Is it the braids? So I would definitely recommend, if you are entering into real estate, to have some cash in your reserves. Definitely have cash reserves, because you will need them, and you would definitely want to make sure that you have a plan. Like, how long are you going to take action on this plan, versus just having this idea floating in your head, or doing all this research but never taking the actual steps towards doing the job. Because if you can get a job in real estate, eventually you can work your way into being a transaction coordinator. There are courses, there are coaches. I'm a coach, I'm a mentor to people in this space, but if you know someone that actually works in real estate, whether they're a realtor, a transaction coordinator, a broker, reach out to them. Ask them if they need help. You know what I'm saying? Like, it won't hurt. Because ultimately, they're going to be your connector. And I just did an interview with another TC. And she called it nepotism. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of like nepotism when you know somebody in the industry and, you know, you're, you understand, like, okay, this is happening, you know? I'm getting tired. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to preserve my energy for future live streams that I'm going to do in the evenings because I am losing focus. And like I said earlier, the Thursday streams, the ones in the morning and the ones at night, are not structured. If people show up and have questions, I will gladly answer your questions. But if there are no questions, this isn't going to be like a training live stream. It's just going to be me present, like, you know, working with you guys. But if you do have questions, just drop them in the comments because I want to make sure I'm helping you guys in this process versus, just staring at a screen. And bare minimum, my goal is to stream for 20 minutes. And I've hit that 20-minute mark. But usually around the 20-minute mark is when people start to show up and people start to engage. And right as I'm about to like end stream, it's like all of a sudden the chat like goes off. So I'm not going to walk away too soon because I'm starting to see people checking in. I just want to make sure the lighting on my phone is trash. It's so overexposed. Sorry if you guys had to hear me gulping that water. I didn't mean for this to turn into an ASMR vlog, ASMR live stream. But what is ahead on the channel? So Monday, I'm releasing another interview. I have a couple interviews. I have one interview, another interview scheduled. So once that's done, it's going to be released in September. I just reached out to 3 other people. So I have to get them on the calendar to do the interview with them, which is exciting. So that should cover, God willing, that should cover all of September. I might just release those. If I can get those all recorded in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to release those back to back to back to back because I don't think I have the capacity to record new content right now. Just not right now. And if people want training videos or stuff like that, they can come to my Patreon, to the community, because that's where that's going to live. And if you're watching the replay right now, what I'm getting at is, as I'm introducing these live streams, it does take a lot of energy out of me. It does take a lot of, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how much energy going live takes, especially when you don't plan your content, especially if you just hop on and turn the camera on. Like, I can talk easily, but it took me about 10 minutes to warm up to what I was going to say and what I was going to talk about because I didn't really have a plan tonight outside of just summarizing my day and then hoping people came into the chat with questions. But so far, no one has, and that's okay because in the live stream replay, you guys will still get the benefits of this stream. And I will wrap it up in 5 minutes because no one's really in here. So we're going to bank on people watching the replay. But what I do want to reiterate before we go, earlier today, we were talking about, and I'm going to talk about this on Tuesday's live stream more in depth, but aiming your efforts at the right target, focusing your efforts on the right target. Okay. Making sure that what your priorities are is where your effort goes. I think that's what I want all of us to focus on for the next few weeks of August, for the next few weeks of this year, in order to continue to have successful, to continue to see success in our days, in our business, in our lives. Because for too long, I still do this. This is why I'm saying this out loud, is to also keep myself accountable. But for too long, I would say, I want to be a full-time YouTuber. I want to be a full-time YouTuber. I want to be a full-time YouTuber. I would say that, but I wouldn't put in the work. I wouldn't go live. I wouldn't record consistent videos. And when I did, I was just doing it just to get it out the way. I wasn't considering the people that I was actually serving, that I was actually speaking to. I wasn't considering them in this whole process. I was just throwing out content because I could and I did, right? And don't get me wrong, it was still helpful content, but it wasn't with the intention of growing the platform to become full-time, okay? And that's what I realized this year. And this was probably the most clear-headed I've been, considering life is still lifing. This is probably the most consistent I've been in terms of the quality content, the strategy behind my content, and not sitting on ideas too long, but actually being proactive with my ideas, whether it works out immediately or not. So I introduced live streaming a couple of months ago. Well, the end of April, early May. It's August now. And I was going live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. It took about 3 months for people to finally show up. So that's kind of my mentality, is like 3 months when you're in a state of what feels like an emergency and you want things to happen and change right away. 3 months can feel like a freaking lifetime. But now that I'm like kind of above the surface and just, able to breathe a little bit, I look back and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so thankful for those 3 months, because I was able to experiment so much without a big audience. And I still don't have like a huge audience either, right? But the days that I go live now have maintained like 5 to 10 people in there. That's a lot of people, okay? And I want to do the same thing on Thursdays now, but considering the different times that I'm going live, right, is in the morning and in the evening. So it's definitely going to attract a different audience. So now I have to revise basically my target, like revise the efforts that I'm and where I'm aiming my efforts at on these live streams. Tuesday at 4 o'clock, people know, like they know, and now they're starting to show up. So, and I'm so grateful for that. Then now here on Thursdays, it's kind of a crapshoot. I kind of get what I get, right? And that's okay, because I'm just getting started. So this is me starting another day of live streaming. So this is me as if it was May again, the month of May, right? And I'm just going to stay consistent with it, because this is why I want to release those interviews back to back to back, and eventually get to a point where I can release nothing but interviews on that channel and just go live. So the faster it's not about fast. It's not about speed, because I still want to focus on quality, not just quantity. But I feel like I work best when I can just hit record. No real filter, no real production. It's just me here going live like I am right now. And then I could I can edit clips from these live streams and go from there. So it's okay to change and to pivot. If you're doing content or if you're doing something else in your job, like usually the thing that we don't like about what we're doing is because it just, maybe we outgrew it, or you just need to remix it. So when it came to transaction coordination and me kind of getting to this place where I don't want to do it anymore, but nothing else is making me money. So I either expedite the process of how to figure out how to make money outside, without, last resort being getting a job. What else can I do? Right? I either take on another transaction coordinator client, or really, really, really lock in with this content and my coaching business and talking to people that I want to work with, and somehow getting them to work with me and trusting me. So if I go live, at least you guys can see I am a real person, and a lot of my content is based on true events. So I'm still, getting used to these Thursday night streams and these early morning live streams. So this is still going to be an experiment in itself. I'm not sure if I'll continue with the morning live streams, but I do like these evening night streams. So I might in the future let go of the AM, like the morning live streams, and just stick to Tuesday and Thursdays in the evenings. But Thursdays will be like super after hours like it is right now. And that way I don't, that way I'm not flooding you guys with too much content, because that's another thing I'm concerned about is, quantity isn't that important. I still want to maintain quality for you guys versus just, going live just to go live and not really having much to say. I still want to focus. Like, quality is still very important to me. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. We hit 30 minutes, so I feel good about that. I feel like for anyone that's watching the replay, you still got a solid amount of content from me tonight. And stay tuned. Monday, we have a new interview dropping on the YouTube channel. Everything is under the name Transaction Care. So make sure you are subscribed and you are following. Please subscribe and follow. I am on YouTube, TikTok, and now Twitch. Also Threads, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all that. But I will be going live on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok moving forward. So if you favor one platform of the other, just follow me there, either on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube, or all three, whichever is comfortable for you. I don't have a preference in which, where I want you guys to follow me. Okay, that's not all the way true. I would prefer you follow me on YouTube. I would like for you all to follow me and subscribe to me on YouTube. But if you prefer to watch this content on TikTok and or Twitch, just know that you will get more on YouTube in the, horizontal form versus the vertical form. But thank you guys for another awesome live stream. I am pooped. I am tired. My eyes are feeling heavy. I've been up since very early today, and I survived another earthquake. So that earthquake was crazy this morning. It messed me up, but I'm glad everything is okay. Everyone is okay. And I needed that jolt. I needed that jolt to make it through tonight's live stream. And I'm glad you guys were here. For those that are still in here, if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to log out. I'm going to stay on YouTube and Twitch for a little bit longer. So TikTok, make your way to my YouTube channel, Transaction Care. And have a good night. TikTok, you don't stop. Go to my YouTube, Transaction Care. Thank ya. All right, YouTube, TikTok. I'm sorry, YouTube, Twitch. It's just a lot to manage. I need to come up with like a community name, so I'm not just saying these platform names all the time. So I definitely want to say thank you guys for watching and sticking around. Again, this is the first of many late night live streams where we can still talk about business, real estate, mindset. They're not going to be as formal or structured as my Tuesday live streams, but these are going to be times where we can gather, you can ask me questions, we can chat, we can discuss areas where you need to improve your business. But outside of that, please visit my website, transactioncare.com. Make sure you become a member of the community. That's what it's called, the community. And that's also located on my website under the community tab. So I make it easy for everyone to find everything. You can find all of my platforms there as well. So whichever area, whichever place you consume the most content, that's where I will be. That as long as it's Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. But you can follow me across all platforms. But I reside mostly here on YouTube, so I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, sticking around. Have a good night. My name is Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily, like the flower, because we are learning and growing together. And this is transaction care. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon.